remember back in April when truckers were the most important people in the world? Because we were bringing your toilet paper and your gas to heat your house. Everybody was howling at night for the first responders because we've been out here in the middle of this pandemic this whole time. And how do you thank us? You closed down the restaurants that we eat at. Well, in Wyoming, they're talking about not even plowing the highways this winter because they can't afford it. And to top it all off, 70 million of you guys voted against the trucking industry, against first responders, against oil and gas. We ain't gonna forget this shit. All right, so we're all hearing about this trucker strike, so I'm going to do a little bit of a dive into it and to give you an idea. So let's start with the information that I've gotten that is not a part of this. I won't say it's not true. I'm just saying if you do basic searches for this, as usual, there's a bunch of things that are going to cloud the waters, and this is part of it. So you've got United Natural Foods, Inc., which is a trucking group. It's Local 445. Here's the info on the screen. They supply Stop and Shop and Whole Foods, and they're more out of the New York area. This strike is not what people are talking about. That's just a labor disagreement. They're working it all out. The strike itself that the truckers you're about to hear are going through are on a national level and could be very disruptive.
Blessed be our new founding fathers.
Shalom. First thing and foremost, I want to give all praises and glory and honor that's due to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Rakakwadash. I want to say double honors to the elders, the apostles of Great Millstone. Blessings and salutations into the hopeful elect, those in the gospel abroad, lifting up the standard of Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, wherever it may be. Sha'aki and Mahalaya coming back with another lesson through the Spirit. Update on prophecy. This is a video that a few brothers had uploaded. I actually saw last night in the Spirit. Hopped on me this morning to want to do something on it because it is prophecy. It is tying into the current volatile times we're living in, and through the Spirit, the scriptures prophesied of such things, such as chaos and riots, tensions between the people and food shortages, okay? And, we're in the midst of what they would consider a famine, which famine just means to be hungry. It does not necessarily mean that food won't be available, but it just things are being scarcely rationed out. And with these trucker strikes that may be implemented by the end of the month, there's no telling that, for your holidays to come, for your Christmas and New Year's Eve, stuff that you people associate yourselves with, there's no telling on how these stores and things like that are going to be operating in these times, because you got the nation that's divided due to this presidential selection, as I like to call it. The nation is highly divided based on Trump supporters feeling like the election was actually stole from them. Okay, because I was reading some artifacts or some documents last night, just a few clips, and coming across a couple of articles, and they're stating that some states that Biden allegedly won, he didn't really win, So I don't know if they're doing a recount. I don't know if they're going to redact on his president-elect status, but either way it go, the Most High's will be fulfilled. Me personally, I'm hoping that Biden possibly stay in there now, because I see the curriculum and the particular guidelines that Biden wants to do during his presidency, and it's in line with Bible prophecy. So I'm hoping that if he does get in there, that he just get the ball moving me, because he stated that as soon as he get in there, day one, he's putting things into play regarding the C virus. So, hey man, we're living in those volatile times, man. So anyway, I'm gonna play a little bit of the video. It is 12 minutes. Lord's will, we be able to get through most of it. I'm gonna interject from time to time and bring out the precepts, but the video speaks for itself, and I can't really do it justice by speaking on it, but the scriptures will, overcome everything. But anyway, I'm gonna play a little bit of it, and I'm gonna stop from time to time. So here we go.
Okay, so as things are going on now, the truckers are basically planning on 11/11 and then 11/26 to 11/29 to do a shutdown. Now, what that looks like in the scope of it, I'm not really sure. I'm trying to figure that out. But to say that it is around the trucker community is the understatement of the century. It is all over. They're all talking about it. And you can go onto Facebook, and you can go onto Twitter, and you can go on to YouTube, and you can go on to all the social media platforms and hear them all talking about it, because they are talking about it and talking about it and talking about it. And to be honest with you, these people are all very much in the Trump camp. And as many of them state...
See, that right there tells you that it's a pure division between the American people. All right, and that's what the elites wanted. They wanted division. They wanted a civil war, because now the civil war is basically brewing. Because like I said, if this guy Biden is inaugurated on January the 20th, 2021, just me speaking as a man, I believe that will be possibly a civil war, or at least on a small scale. Because there's already protesters in these cities that the news, they're not even covering. They're not even speaking on it for real. Because, they want to have a media blackout, because they want everybody to believe that everything is okay. But this place is on the brink of falling, man. Like, I was when I was at work yesterday, and you notice how it's a flag. They got the seal of the United States, and then it says, "Together we stand, divided we fall." And that's a true statement, because they're divided. You got the succession from the southern and northern states. You got the Democrat and the Republican Party. They're beefing with one another, because the people don't know that the Democrats and the Republicans are part of the same bird or the same eagle, just two different wings. So it's a divided nation, and it is falling, and there will be civil war. There will be Edomites against Edomites. There will be Edomites against Jakes. There will be Edomites against other nations, because when you look at it, the whole world is coming against Esau. He's even coming against himself in this trucker strike, based on Trump not getting the president elect again. These devils, they're mad. They're angry, because Trump was their last hope as to bringing back a good old America, good old boy system, exalting the rich, and keeping the poor poor, and keeping the rich rich, bringing in that racial division, that embodiment of hatred. These devils, Trump was their last hope, because they say, well, Trump is against the deep state. Well, I wouldn't necessarily say that, but I do see that he kind of deviated from what they wanted him to do. That's probably why they selected Biden, because the things that Biden is talking about, Trump was supposed to be putting into play. He was supposed to come up with the C virus task force and vaccine, and what they call the Operation Warp Speed. These are things that he was talking about. But I guess he didn't get the ball rolling quick enough, so they was like, you know what? We're just gonna put another degenerate in there, and let him do what he need to do to get this third world war, economic collapse, and this global tyranny on America. All right, so we in for some times, man. It's going downhill from this point. The next couple of weeks, months, maybe a year or so, we don't know how long the Lord is going to prolong this place. Lord's will, he destroys it next year. Lord's will, the Lord send the chariots and get us up out of here. But for the meantime, why these men, either one of these devils, is not going to look too good, because like I said, now a civil war is brewing. So
this has nothing to do with trying to hurt the country. It has nothing to do with trying to hurt people that are just trying to get goods and services. This is everything about a fair election that is based in integrity. None of this would happen if Mr. Biden would have just won, and there wouldn't be all this copious amounts of fraud that these people believe have gone on.
So this is serious, man. These people are getting ready to possibly formulate a truck strike to probably get Trump back in there. Because now, when they're not rationing foods to these stores, people are gonna run out of food. That's gonna lead to chaos. Prime example, when the first wave of the outbreak hit back in March, when it hit the states, people was like literally panic shopping, man. You know, I'll go to the store and buy water and buy, extra stuff. And people, it was no water on the shelves. There was no tissue. Prophecy was, we basically saw Second Ezra 6:22. You know, people was fighting over water. People was acting weird. And you think at this time, people would come together and form a bartering system. You know, people, you would think that if a person had 10 cases of water in the car, you would think that they would at least give you one. And they wouldn't. That's to show you that this place is divided. But that's the spirit of the Lord, because the Lord said, I will create a perverse spirit in the midst of Egypt. All right. Matter of fact, let me get that real quick. You know, because, hey, man, we're living in some dangerous times, man. And, hey, it's going to get bad out here. And for you tribes out there, you don't have a clue as to what's going to happen here, man. Okay. So this is the book of Isaiah 19:14. It says, Yahweh have mingled a perverse spirit in the midst thereof, and they have caused Egypt to earn every work thereof, as a drunken man staggered in his vomit. Okay, so what you're seeing now is a volatile spirit that the Lord is stirring up among these elites, among these presidents, among these congressmen, these politicians, and yet more of the people. It's a spirit that's going out here that's working on the minds of these people. And the only ones that's going to be stable in that day is the elect. We're the only ones that's going to know and operate with pure confidence and faith in Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai to navigate through these perilous times, while people are out here breaking in each other's houses, riots, killing, looting, military cop. There's going to be a lot of bloodshed out here, man. And we going to be the only ones that's sitting back like, wow, the fruits of the work, right? Where everybody out here is looking like, what the hell going on? We going to be calm. We going to be, we going to be out the way, of course. We ain't going to just be in the middle of a blatant firefight if we can help it. But the fact about it is, man, we going to just be chilling. Wherever the Lord going to have us, we just going to be chilling. People going to be out here rioting and losing their damn minds. We just going to be sitting up, drinking yan, Lord's will, in the spirit, doing whatever we need to do, while everybody else is just losing their mind. And people gonna come to us like, why y'all so calm? How do y'all understand? Because the scriptures say wisdom and knowledge should be the stability of thy times. That's why we able to be calm and navigate through these evil times with the utmost confidence in Yahweh Shai. And you got to pray for that confidence, So.
And there's plenty of things to go out and plenty of rabbit holes to go down to see it. So to say things are questionable would be, again, the understatement of the century. So everybody in this community is talking about it, and some things you need to understand is that 90% of the industry, from what I've gathered and hearing these truckers talk, are owned by large companies like Knight, and I mean, you've seen them all out. I think there's Swift, there's Taylor, there's a bunch out there that are national trucking firms, okay? Now, it doesn't mean that they're politically left or politically right, and it doesn't mean that these truckers could not talk to their bosses and the bosses be fully on board of shutting things down. As many of them state, they are sustained enough where they could do this for a while and really cause problems. And there's other things. I've heard rumors of them going to D.C. and surrounding it, front to tail, all the truckers blocking all the roads so nothing goes in and nothing goes out of D.C. Here's some more truckers talking.
I think that most people do not sort of realize that every tangible object, every piece of food they consume was most likely in a truck before it got to them.
The growth in population in this country and the need for the movement of goods and services is literally going to overwhelm the infrastructure as we know it today.
one component of the network shuts down and it impacts the rest of the network. It's that fragile. I mean, we're on that close of a sliver of the transportation system working as people want it to work.
Particularly.
So, when a trucker strike comes, everything shuts down. Okay, think of your highway systems, right? The reason why highways were created was for the traffic of commerce. Okay, that's why it's called a highway. Notice if you go and apply for a license, really a license is supposed to be obtained based on your code of business. You know, like for instance, right? You have traveling, then you have driving. Driving is basically something you need a license for to transport goods, like truck drivers. You know, whether you're delivering goods, you know, you go to the farms and they distribute it to the stores through these truckers, you know, goods. That's driving. Okay, that's why they say if you have a driving job, that's required a license because you're transporting cargo. All right, traveling is just free range. You walking, riding a bike, or you may be driving cross country. You know, but that's the reason why America adopted so many highways, because commerce, the traffic, like the scriptures goes into Ezekiel, I believe the 28th chapter, and it goes into the king of Tyrus, which is really going into E in America. It basically tells you that through his traffic, he obtained riches. And that's what you see here. Okay, like it says, sanitation problems began to mount, right? Because if you don't have dump truck drivers, or, you know, sanitation workers, like you got the trash companies like Waste Management, you got Duff and Bar, you know, you got the streets and sanitations. Once these particular things are shut down, then all of a sudden your systems or your city systems, they break down. Your garbage becomes overflowing. Then you got pestilence, you got bugs, you got rats, rodents, and so forth. It says your local gas stations low on fuel, right? Because you need trucks to bring forth these things. It says your local stores are out of cash, ATMs run out of money, right? That's why when you go to like certain banks, where you see what they call what's the name of the damn truck? They call them armored trucks, but it's another name for it. And that's the spirit. I was watching Dead Presidents last night when they basically hit the armor van and they had all that cash in there. You see those people that's going and have a wad of money to deliver it to these particular places. But how can they do that if it's a trucker strike in there blocking off roads? How can they do it? It's relatively impossible. So without trucks, you have no food. And with no food, the economy shuts down because nobody's buying anything. Okay, so this getting ready to get serious. But we going to watch it and we going to see how it's going to play out, man. But hey, these are the labor pains that the Lord was talking about. All right, so this is the book of Ezekiel 28:4. It says, in thy wisdom and with thy understanding thou hast gotten thee riches, and hast gotten gold and silver into thy treasure. And by thy great wisdom and by thy traffic thou hast increased thy riches, and thy heart is lifted up because of thy riches. Okay, so thy traffic goes into commerce. Like I said, America is pretty much mainly of highways. You know, like I believe here in Missouri, I believe they have, I forget, is it the 7th largest highway system? I think it's the 3rd or the 7th, but Missouri has a lot of freaking highways. Why? Because for one thing, it's a direct hub terminal to Kansas, which Kansas is directly in the middle of America. Okay, and this is the Middle East. I mean, not the Middle East, the Midwest, Salakia. This is the Midwest, and a lot of goods are transferred through this particular region of the world. Okay, this is why they call it the breadbasket of the world. So it would make sense that Kansas or Missouri, the state of Missouri, will have one of the largest operating highway systems in the country. And I know that because, you know, my job. And on top of that, they stated that they are 49 on the map as far as the revenue and the money they're getting to run these highway systems. So if Missouri shuts down, then this country is pretty much done. Because for one thing, Missouri highways are completely underfunded. Like if you go to these big states, you notice if you look at their striping and their signs and striping crew, if you look at the pavements on the highways, they have what they call reflectors on there. Reflector residuals that upon a storm or nighttime where there's no street lights, you can see due to the reflectors on the street. But here in Kansas City, their budget is so low to the point they can't even afford that. All right, like that's why they're constantly doing roads out here, man. You look at the streets, the paint is fading. You can't see anything. It's dark out here on the highways, you know. So they have to buy this cheap reflective stickering to substitute for those white lines on there so it can give some type of light, but it don't work. Versus you go to St. Louis, which is 3 hours away, which is still in Missouri, to have a bigger revenue or budget because it's closer to Jeff City, the capital. and their streets are updated. But out here in Kansas City, it's rarely, you know. But anyway, that's just besides the point. But I'm gonna play a little bit more of the video. We're gonna get another precept, and we're gonna close out.
As we've moved to a world of Amazon Prime and deliveries as opposed to making our own personal trips, we don't think about the truck traffic that causes.
Basically, to the general public, we are invisible unless something goes wrong.
We're now investing a smaller percentage of our gross domestic product in transportation infrastructure than many third world countries.
We're on a path that is not a sustainable path on how we can move all this freight and have this quality of life that we have as Americans. You can't sit idly by and just say, well, it'll all work out, because it won't.
A lot of people who are in or have something to do with trucking, oil field, one way or the other. As of now, the word is November 29th. November 29th, we park them and we don't move.
Right, November 29th. I'm trying to think. Let me see something. Let's look at the calendar. I think Thanksgiving is, what's today? I think today is the, damn, let me turn on this real quick. Give me 1 second. Okay, yep. November 29th is on a Sunday. All right, that's 3 days after Thanksgiving. All right, because Thanksgiving falls on that Thursday. So let's just say if they did this on the 22nd, all across the country, the nation, right? People wouldn't have any holiday turkeys. You wouldn't have nothing. Your holiday would be dead. People be riding in these stores. No Black Friday sales. No PlayStation 5s. None of that stuff. You know? So, hey, man. We're here to let you people know that, hey, through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shem Yahushua, these things are going to come to a head real soon, man. And it's going to lead to a lot of tensions and further division in America if they don't get this guy, Trump, back up in there. So this is what you're seeing, the people taking a stand against the government, against the deep state. Scripture saying, second Ezra, that they should not regard their kings nor their princes and their powers to stand in their own hands. So, hey, man, this is the people rising up against E. You know, so, hey, we just sit back and we watch, and through the spirit, we praise Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. You know?
I know it's pretty close to Thanksgiving, right around that time, but November 29th is the day we take this country back. Spread the word. It's our time. We say what happens. Y'all be safe out there. November 29th. Let's do this.
That's second Ezra right there, 15. And the people should they should not regard their kings nor princes, and the course of their actions stand in their own
As
power.
you can see, it's really getting real. Okay? That group has got 107,000 members, and I bet by the time this video comes pumping out, they're probably at about $1.10 to $1.20. If they start to shut down the goods and services, you're going to see major issues start to play out. We are already stressed with the Rona and the lockdowns that are coming. They just halted all the dining in New Jersey. Shanghai just recorded its first case in months. Hospitalizations are back in this country to where they were in July. The Ukrainian president just tested positive. I mean, all the people that are thinking that this new news out of Pfizer, everything's going to go back to normal, if you deep dive into it, and if you know the way the V word works with these, it's not about keeping it or stopping it. It's more about like the flu shot kind of thing. And I think once all this fleshes out, because they've been saying this for a long time, I think it'll be more on par with a flu shot type thing, but it's not going to be a panacea, a cure-all. So here's a video from a guy just to show how ubiquitous this thing is. It's all over the place. The trucking thing is big. If this strike goes down, you're going to see major issues on the supply chain. Now, I've heard the 11th of November. I've heard the 26th to 29th. I've heard the 29th. You get the point. It's time to stock up. If you don't got it, you best get it. Not only that, you've got Thanksgiving coming up. You basically have this week into about mid next week if you're lucky. Most people are getting ready for that.
Yeah, brother. So, hey, man, it's through the spirit to be wise that if you go to the store like me, I'll plan on going today. Between today and Friday, I may go pick up a few items just to be on the safe side, man. You brothers out there, man, go get you some extra food. Get you some extra cases of water. Get you some non-perishables, man. Get you some food that's going to last you. You know, spend a little extra money. You know, I mean, you know, shit, now you got to start thinking smart. Start doing things smart with your money, man, because the time of playing games, I mean, ain't nowhere to go for real. I mean, you go to the movies, $5 movie. But, I mean, going out and going to bars and clubs, man, that day is dead, man, unless you got like a woman. But even then, that stuff is dead. Now is really time to put into getting your necessities, man. Get your winter gear up, you know, your turtlenecks and stuff. Get your food, you know, and I'm talking to myself, you know, and collect things that's really worth collecting instead of just a bunch of bullshit. You know, so get what you need, man. Hunker down and stay put. You like movies, get your movies. Get your video games, whatever you're going to do, man, because like I told you, they keep saying about a dark winter. So now is the time to, you know, get smart and play our cards right. Because we're in those times, bro. All right?
My wife gets information at her job about the Rona. The things are exploding. The cases are going way up. It's spiking. All right? So get your preps. Prepper now.
Hey guys, welcome to Home Over the Road. Kenny here. Thanks for tuning in. This is not a video that I really wanted to be doing today. I'm gonna try to give you guys the what I know about this trucker strike. It's crazy how much information I heard about this today and where it came from different places unexpectedly. And it is a little bit concerning because I also have been, you know, noticing some sort of changes in the country here in the last 2 or 3 days. I mean, some stuff that's certainly spiritually discernible. I am a Bible-believing Christian. What's the deal? Well, a lot of guys are saying, "Hey, we're gonna strike on November 29th." I've never been a part of a union or anything like that. That was, you know, I've never been a guy that said, "Well, what I always said, well, you guys do whatever you want to do. I'm going to take care of mine." I'm 46 now, and I don't live paycheck to paycheck or anything like that. So
you will
I've
be.
given this a lot of thought today. Now
you will be. I say it like that. You proud Edomites out there, the ones that have, okay, the ones without, it's going to be a war between the withs and the withouts. You Edomites out there, the have-nots, which consists of Jake, they're going to come for you eventually. And they will take what you got, even if it means taking your life. That will happen. So you can get on these videos and talk proud. At the end of the day, Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai is going to do a magnificent work. He's already doing it. If you have the eyes to see and the eyesight to see. So, you Edomites, man, your time is running out. Enjoy.
I got a phone call at 6 o'clock this morning from another driver who said, "Hey, look, we're trying to organize a shutdown of D.C. We're going to try and park our trucks nose to tail to the rails on all the exits on the 435, I think is what it is, the Beltway there, and shut D.C. down." And we've got a bunch of trucks that are thinking about doing this. Now, but it got me. We talked a lot about what's going on, and listen, it's not about Trump not winning. It's about the fraudulent election. That's what the trucking community and the country at large is very upset about. Now, as a person that travels around the country, I simply do not believe that there was more support for Biden than there was for Trump. I don't believe that. I don't think you could really talk to.
Well, Trump clearly won a popular vote. If you look at the states, it looks like Trump, most of the states were red, at least from what I saw. I could be wrong, but when I looked at that map, Trump clearly won the election. I'm not denying that at all. You know, but he wasn't doing what his superiors done. This is what a lot of you people get complacent. You seem to forget that it's a higher power that works above these guys, man. Okay? Same thing with Bush and Gore. They stole that election from Gore. You know, Bush stole the election, clearly. So that should tell you something right there. You people, you're not working with a full deck. You really believe in Americans' politics, the home of the free, the land of the brave. You really believe in the old constitutional law, you know, the preamble, we the people of the United States. You really still believe in that? That stuff is done away with, man. It haven't been like that for decades, years. Okay, this is a new system. America is nothing more but a monarchy, all right, and it's a communist country. It's not a democrat. Okay, it's not a democracy. This is a communist nation disguised under a democracy. All right, the people's rule have nothing to do with this place. This place is ran by the monarchy, the 1%, the elites. All right, I don't know how many times we got to say that to you people.
An honest trucker who would tell you that. It's just not there. I go to all 48 contiguous United States. I talk to a lot of people, and I see the signs, and I just don't believe the support was there. Obviously, you've got strongholds like L.A., Portland. I just left Portland 2 days ago. You got those strongholds, but those places are they're not the rule. They're the exception to the rule in the country at large. Most people in this country are freedom-loving, moral, to a greater degree than not, moral people, and they want peace and they want justice in this country. So a lot of people are upset right now about what they see as an election that has not been fair. It's not been transparent, and it is fairly obvious to most of us that they're trying to steal it.
All right, so that's the end of that. But anyway, let's get one more precept here. All right, let's get the book of 2 Esdras 6, because eventually, if this keeps up, the famine, the literal famine of bread and water, which leads to cannibalism, that's coming too. All right, so this is the book of 2 Esdras 6, and I'm gonna start at verses 20. It says, "And when the world that should begin to vanish away should be finished, then I will show these tokens, and the book should be opened before the firmament, and they should see all together." Okay, this is going into us on the highways. Okay, the firmament goes into the satellites, the Wi-Fi. How we upload these videos, they're what they call uploaded through the cloud. They're stored in the cloud, and then they're able to upload through this algorithm here. It says the book should be open. The books is the scriptures. This is what you see. It says here, "And the children of a year old should speak with their voices, and the women with child should bring forth untimely children, 3 or 4 months old." Those are preemie baby, what they call premature babies. Notice one person was born in 5 months and still living today. That's unlikely, but hey, it's fulfillment of the scriptures. "And they shall live and be raised up, and suddenly shall the sown places appear unsown. The full storehouses shall suddenly be found empty." That's these stores, your Walmarts, Targets, your J.C. Penney's, your corner stores, your Whole Foods, Food for Lesses, Hy-Vee's, Price Choppers, Cubs Foods, all these Save-A-Lots. Those are storehouses, okay? You see those big box stores and those strip malls, all those stores like a chain store. That's what it means about the sown places, okay? Because when you think of something sewn together, you think of something that's compact with or together. It says, "The full storehouse shall suddenly be found empty, and the trumpet shall give a sound, which every man heareth, and they should suddenly be afraid." Okay, so now this is going to put panic into people. If this word gets out, people are going to be panic buying. They're going to be panic shopping. They're going to go to these stores and they're going to buy up everything, not regarding a soul in sight. And it says, "And at that time shall friends fight one against another like enemies." So you see the picture coming together? You see how all this is coming together? Makes sense. "And the earth shall stand in fear with those that dwell therein, and the springs of the fountain shall stand still, and in 3 hours they should not run." Meaning everything around you is going to be complete halted once these prophecies start to add up. So anyway, with that, all praises and glory and honor is due to Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai. And with that, Shalom and the Baba Ball.